Welcome to Colorful Conversations, where we flow freely, speak boldly, and connect colorfully. I am Keisha, and this is
Takesha. And we've been friends for over 30 years. Welcome to our girl chat.
I know. Look, come on and do the introduction, friend. Listen, I told you. I say listen all the time. Do you have a word you say all the time?
It might be, I might say listen too. I don't know.
I just catch myself when I say it,
you
though.
do say it.
I say it a lot because I be like, listen.
But I say like all the time. But I don't know what other word other than like that I say, but we about to figure it out. Watch, it's going to be like, oh, that's the word.
Right, because I always say listen. And when I listen back to this, I'll be like, I said, listen, 27.
But just so you know, whenever you say that, I literally do tune in like a level up.
Do you?
Yes, because whenever you say it, it literally means something. So I'll be like,
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't know that. Okay, I'm glad to. I don't know if you, but you're probably the only person that does that when I say listen.
Because I know, like, oh, okay, what you
I'm
got?
about to say
Like,
something.
spirit talking. Listen.
I mean, like, well, what I was going to say is, I said this to you before. I was like, you got your lipstick back on today.
Yes. And today, what I did, I put a little pink on because I do like pink. Someone asked me what my favorite color was, and I was like, I hate to say black while you rocking it. I was like, but if I had another color, it would be pink. But pink is like healing, it's soft. But of course, I had to put some red on top of it.
It's funny you said pink because my child this week told me that pink is now her favorite color, and everything that I bought her recently had to be pink. So much to the point she asked me randomly one day, "What color is your comforter on your bed?" It was the one I was using at the time was like a burgundy, it was two-sided, and then the other side was pink. She was like, okay. And I went to work and came home, and this girl had took my comforter off my bed and put it on her bed on the pink side.
Gotta love it.
Yes, I told you that's probably your spirit child.
Yeah, she gotta be because the similarities amaze me every time.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, I'm glad you got your lipstick back on today because
I'm feeling good.
But let me ask you this because tomorrow is February 28th and your mother's birthday is usually February 29th.
Yes.
So this is this the leap year?
No.
The 29th is the leap year.
Yep.
So
since we don't have an actual 29th, I know some people celebrate theirs on March 1st, but she always celebrated hers on February 28th.
That's what I thought.
So when this airs, happy birthday, mommy.
And you got her color on.
Yes.
Purple.
I wore my little hoodie.
Yeah. So I know
in honor of her.
I know, but we've talked about this so many times before, and how we've dealt with grief and everything with our mother's past and everything. Your spirit seems a little more, I don't know if it's more uplifted or just a little more joy. Not that, you're extremely sad. Of course, you miss your mother, but when it comes around to her birthday before, there's been times where you just couldn't
do it because I even remember, like, I don't know if I want to call it a celebration. Like if I were to look back at the episode last year, which I will, to this one, I'm pretty sure that you'll be able to tell. And what I'm going to say, and I'm going to be quite honest, the growth that I've had from healing and using this podcast as a platform to heal as well. Because like we've discussed this, that I reflect every episode because it's not entertainment for me.
Absolutely. It's not.
This is a ministry, a growth platform that I come here because it's just me and you. I know at some point there's going to be viewers, but I'm walking away with what I can learn. And the guests that God has placed on your life to join us, you all have ministered to my soul extremely, where it's just like Brittina's probably in my top 10 of people, and I only talked to her one day in my entire life.
Yeah. That's how Actually, every guest that we've invited, that I've invited, or I say we because this is our thing together,
Yes.
but the place where I am in my life, I only want to really be around people I'm aligned with. So I really believe that God really be dropping people in my spirit that is for such a time as whatever we're dealing with at that time. And Bertine is one of those people that was able to, you know, be there at a time where we really needed to hear her. And even Denise, Nikki, was at a time where we needed to hear her. Daisha was at a time where we needed to hear her, and not only we needed to hear them. I think that in return, in the same retrospect, we probably was a blessing to them in some way as
I'm pretty
well.
sure.
So and as time go on and people get dropped in our spirit, I believe everything is aligned, and when it's not, I feel it and I know.
Yes, yes. So with that being said, I think that that's really transitioned me into the woman that I am today, who can sit here, period. Let alone be broke down, who can literally sit here because I came from not being able to move.
Yeah.
I was in a paralyzed state. So to be here today, this is how I know God is real.
Girl, come on. Listen, I said it again. I'm always, always.
So for me, that was God telling me He is real. Yes, because you like listen, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that grief, man. I was thinking about that. People always talk about the stages of grief. I think I'll deal with grief every day in some shape or form, or weekly.
Yes, I remember my cousin and I talking about writing a book on grief, because at this point it was like the way that they teach you how grief is supposed to look in the 7 stages. It's just like I can have all of those 7 stages that somebody came up with in 1 second.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. This time last week, while we were doing the podcast, my phone was going crazy, ringing. And when we finished and I finally made the calls back, I found out a good friend of ours had suddenly passed. And I had just seen him 3 days before where we laughed and joked. So when things like that happen, it always I started to reminisce, like, what was the last things he and I talked about? What was our last moments like? I think that he lived a happy life. I believe that he knew God just from our conversations. Like I said, I believe God be aligning me with people. And so, while I was sad and still feel sad about it, I know that is a bigger meaning. Somebody gonna get to know God behind this. Somebody is going to get to know him. And I just, that grief, I deal with every day. I probably go through the stages because I told you I like to be by myself and I like to be in quiet. And sometimes people say the wrong things, even if he's not my family. You don't want to hear certain things, like
no, because family just comes from, like, in my mind I think of like relatives and being blood related, but you can have a bond with someone and can still hurt, and sometimes you feel that pain from being empathetic and compassionate on the hurt of their family.
Yeah, because he had just had a baby the month before. This is what I did not tell you. This is how I know God too, because he be really showing.
I hate to do this, and I hate when I do this, but I just want to tell y'all, Keisha's lashes. I'm like, do you have on extensions? I know you are a makeup artist, but okay, y'all go to her, because if she can make her lashes look like this without no extensions, I'm getting a tutorial afterwards. So let's go back to being sympathetic. I'm so sorry, but what didn't you tell me? Like they don't look like that. I need to see if I can get a side view, because I want to know. I want to know, because that girl, can you imagine me with that voice and batting my eyes? I'm about to just start pretending my lashes like that, like.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you my secret. I do have a secret.
Don't tell me on camera. Tell me
later.
On
camera because
they gotta come.
You gotta come and make an appointment.
Make an appointment.
If you want to know the secret, you gotta come to the appointment.
Yes.
But listen, I'm gonna go back to this because I don't forget my points. This is how I know the God be real, the signs. Okay, so my friend that passed away, was he got engaged, I think in December, but his fiance was pregnant and she was due February 21st. The baby came early in January, but the baby was not a preemie. He came out full size.
Wow.
And then my friend passed on February 22nd.
Wow.
So I feel like God gave him what he wanted, gave him that time. Like we be putting time on stuff and we be thinking, man, that baby ain't gonna know his father. And that is a sad earthly thought, but I be thinking in a bigger realm, like God really did his thing with that. He literally.
I have a story. And it's not my own personal story. It is a Tubi movie that I watched. I cannot remember the name of it, but if I remember it correctly, the lady was married to someone else and she had a child. The child, his father had passed away. They were young, drastic. Then the boy was like, coming of age, about to go with the wrong crowd. But the movie was about his father being his angel and guiding him through to make sure that he doesn't make bad decisions. But it was like the mom, I believe, could feel his spirit to know that it was him. But so hearing what you said made me think about that. And that's why I just be like, for him to pass the day after what the due date was. So he was able to get a whole month. And not seeing that baby suffering on how we would have looked at it being you know what I'm saying?
Baby was like 7 pounds when he was born. He wasn't in no NICU or anything. It was like he came 4 or 5 weeks early. And it was like when they said that he had the baby, I'm like, he had the baby. The baby wasn't due. They was like, baby was fine. Show me pictures. Baby was nice size. And every day when I saw him, I would say, how the baby doing? He would show me pictures and he doing good. He's a junior. And I was like, man, when I thought about that date and I said, man, God, you really.
He planned that out. And that was
he
perfect.
Be knowing.
He knows. He knows. Just like Bertine said.
He knows.
He knew.
That's why I be trying not to be playing with my life and things.
Listen, that's why I be trying to be more intentional and aware and not playing with my life too. But I also, and I think this honestly, I know my mother's death is really what got me into knowing and trusting God. I had always seen it. There are certain experiences that I've always experienced. But as you would say, and I know that this is literally what it is, when I fully surrendered, because I was still knowing, but I was still trying to control it. But when I fully surrendered and connect with him purposely and intentionally every day for him to show me that Proverbs wisdom in real life. So once I started doing that, I just really started looking at life a lot differently because we all have an expiration date. That's the one thing we just don't know what it is. So every day, let me appreciate my mother because at one day, this woman that I cherish and love is no longer going to be here on earth. But also in reading my Bible more and more, I read about the angels. And in my mind, my mother is my angel. Period. End of discussion. There's other people who have passed away, but my mother is the only person who's passed away that I feel like crushed my entire life, that I did not think I could breathe without her. So I had no choice but to surrender. Before, I just was grieving and mourning and holding on to it, but I wasn't surrendering. Now that I surrender and I find a peace in God first, because he's the head. Then it's me and everybody else in whatever order I want them to be acting in my story at that point in time. So once I realized that, I was able to release a lot of heavy grief.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I still have it. I still cry out for her and I still have those moments, but I ain't going to call it heavy grief. I'm going to call it paralyzing. Mm-hmm. It doesn't paralyze me where I cannot move. Mm-hmm. And I'm just in a place where it's just like, I thank God for that moment. Mm-hmm. And I try to be intentional now with my father, mm-hmm. where it's just like, am I going to regret this? Right. You might not want to do that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because now that I know, and not even necessarily, let me just change that from with my father, but with everybody in my life that I love.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I have a biological sister, but if something was to happen to you, it's going to hit me. Mm-hmm. Because you are my sister and mm-hmm. most definitely my sister in Christ. Mm-hmm. You know, so I have these sisters. Mm-hmm. out here in the world that I want covered, and I want to be intentional about how I appreciate and show them and love them. And while I'm saying that their soul is resting in peace, I want it to be in peace. I want to be on earth in peace.
Yeah.
So I want you to be able to rest at night knowing that anything that I did, it was not with malicious intent, and that we can work through it and come together in harmony, because people make mistakes. People make bad choices. Sometimes you have to grow and get to the gutter and get paralyzed to come out of it to be a better person. And that includes being a better person to those that you hurt. Do it mean that we're going to break bread and you're going to sit at my table? No, Judas.
We all got a Judas.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No. Yeah. But I'm still going to love you like Christ.
And that's the thing, is getting, when you fully surrender, you start loving even your people who are your Judas.
Yes.
And your Peters, and act like they don't know you or betray you or whatever. Loving them still no matter what, because that's why
I'm still going to love you. That don't mean that I'm going to buy you flowers every week or do, you know what I'm saying? Do other things, but loving in Christ don't mean that we got to go out and hang out and do things together. Exactly. That's what I think people might misunderstand.
Yeah. I even this week was thinking, I had seen a video, I was watching something, and a lot of times when we talk about toxic relationships, whether it's friendships or whatever, a lot of people act like that's their own. Those are the ones that are not good for them. But people who are not aligned with you can really be a person that's kind and nice to you too. You know, I've been divorced, and my dating life after divorce, everybody was nice and kind. I don't have any issues with you. But you know what I'm saying? I didn't have any loud knockout arguing, drama, cussing out, we just were not aligned. So we have to stop thinking that everybody is, the person that's for you is going to come with, or the person, friendship or not. If they're toxic, they're not the only ones for you. Because the people who could not be for you is people who have a kindness too, but they're just not your people. If that makes sense.
That makes total sense, because, my stories are always a reflection with the female version of it.
Yeah.
Because I have someone in my life that is very nice and kind, but I also know some of the struggles that she's going through. Mm-hmm. And then I pay attention to some of the things that happen when we're together.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I pay attention to the alignment of it. Where it's just like, when things don't feel right, I know God is pulling me back. Yeah. And it's just like, our time was good.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that I am meant to be with you for the long journey.
Exactly.
For the long haul.
That don't mean,
and I've had plenty of friendships like that. Mm-hmm. I think of some of the friendships from high school where during that time, it was just like, I could never had imagined some of the people not being in my life at this point. And then there's some where I'm saying, like, I ain't even talking like that I ain't talked to in 100 years. Mm-hmm. I'm talking like, oh, you were there when my mom passed, but today we are unaligned.
Yeah. And so that's why I think or believe that we as a people collectively need to understand that it don't have to be no bad, because I love everybody genuinely. I want everybody to be good and okay. But if people are not aligned with you, and it don't have to be, I mean, alignment looks different for everybody.
For everybody.
It looks different for everybody. So I know what it looks like for me in each situation. So stop believing that only if a person is toxic or a narcissist or mean to you or talk bad about you or whatever, that they are the only people you shouldn't be, in alignment with, because that's not the case. So when you fully surrender, you know who you're aligned with.
Mm-hmm. And in this particular situation, how I know if I'm being honest is the things that I know that I've healed through. And if I have ministered to you about healing through it, but you still want to stay in that place and still have those, I don't necessarily want to say gossipy, because you can gossip about yourself when I say this. When you have these gossipy like conversations on what happened to you and they did this and this and this, and it's just like, but we talked about the paradise side of that. Why are you still here? Why are you still going back to this person? Why are you inviting the negativity in your life? Yeah. So when I'm with that, it's when I'm just like, oh, I enjoyed my time with you. I really did. But I can no longer, because I'm trying to step forward and upgrade in every aspect of my life. So even if in my conversations, if I'm going back to something that you should have healed 10 years ago.
But is it even though we know it should have been healed 10 years ago and stuff is done in his timing, that just means we're not lying, but I can't judge you.
I don't judge you.
Okay, yeah.
But I know that if that's draining me and taking me back to a place where I'm not supposed to be, I know that I'm not aligned. And it don't mean that I can't talk to you. I just have to cut the conversation short.
And I do that, yeah, because I can relate exactly to what you say.
You're still in my life, but it's just like, oh, you making a left turn.
Like, I can't go that way.
And my path said go right.
Listen, I'm on
because we can get to the same designation, but GPS give you several options on how to get there. So I want the faster, shorter version. And if you want the scenic route, that's okay. I'll just meet you back where we're supposed to be the next time around.
Yeah, because who's to say it won't come back together?
Yeah.
But yeah, I when I realized, I'm like, oh, I used to only think that the toxic, narcissist, mean people wasn't supposed to be in my life. And when I meet somebody who was nice and kind, and this is supposed to work. This is supposed to be.
But baby, let me tell you,
it ain't supposed to be. I'm like,
and then sometimes I say sometimes you get the lessons from the nice and kind ones, and you get the lessons from the toxic narcissists.
Yeah, you get the different lessons. So the nice and kind ones, when you realize those lessons, you're like, oh, because I know some paths that I've taken, and I'm like, man, I wasn't supposed to take that path.
You should have took the faster, shorter route.
Right. I'm like, oh.
But depending on some of the situations,
I need the lessons.
Yeah. So we need it where we just like, oh, I got a roundabout. I don't want to do no roundabout today.
I do not regret any path that I've taken now, because when I think about the lessons that I've learned from each path on every issue or every area of my life, I am so grateful that it's brought me to where I am now, and I'm still learning.
I probably could not agree with you until today.
Okay.
Until today.
All right.
Because, and since this is airing on my mother's episode, you know how I always talked about that night, how I wish I would have stayed at the hospital, how that was my biggest regret. And how afterwards, where I think we only had maybe 2 days maximum, that I didn't even use that time to talk to her about it. I just kind of acted like there was still going to be a tomorrow.
Yeah.
Even though my mother literally told me, without knowing that she was telling me, she had to go to the bathroom. I went in the bathroom with her, and this is why I'm a science girl. I went in the bathroom with her. She was using the bathroom and she said, something feels different.
She said that?
She said that. So even though she didn't know, that was the night that she transitioned. I heard it. My spirit shook, but I still wasn't listening to when God was talking to me because I still wasn't surrendering. I still didn't take that opportunity like I looked. But as I sit here today, I know I don't have any regrets because that was one moment in time. I'm still a child. We gonna make mistakes. And not only am I my mother's child, I'm a child of God. So I'm going to make mistakes. And now I just know, like, your mother knows that you loved her. Quit questioning that. She did not think because of one night
that you
didn't love her. Yeah. Her feelings might have been hurt, but she know that you love her. And if you think that she didn't know, which is because of what I kept thinking, I called my dad, Keisha, and I said, do my mama know I loved her?
You asked him that?
I asked him that. Yes, Takesha, your mother knew that you loved her.
You see how we'll let one thing, though, stay with us and burn
That's how the devil do.
Yeah, and stay with you, and you hold on to that, and it bothers you, and you feel heavy from that. You see how that one thing, when you really, really deep down know, think of all the years you had with your mama.
All the moments I had. If I just want to go to Facebook and see all the moments that I shared with her or that she shared in moments, but it was just in me so heavy, and that kept me down. And he said, yes, he was just like, when your mother was in the hospital, we talked about that. You got to let that go.
Let it go.
And I still hung up the phone and I said, was he just saying that to say that to make me feel better?
You still, that still in your ear, making you think something different.
So I went to that prayer table and I said, God, even if I'll never know, allow me to let those memories and good times that I had with my mother overpower. But what I asked God was, can you tell her for me? Tell her that I'm sorry. Tell her that I didn't mean it. But also tell her that the reason why I didn't come that night, and looking at the bigger picture, I would have never gotten my relationship with God. And that right there
was most important than anything.
Exactly.
I mean, it was. You wouldn't be where you are now.
Yeah.
You know, that's the truth.
Yes. Wow. So everything led me to this moment in divine alignment where I can literally put God first. I talked about how we say that I give an honor to God who's the head of my life, and how I got baptized. I'm sorry, I didn't mean
to roll my eyes. I rolled my eyes.
But sorry. You were coming from a place of saying it out of routine.
Yeah.
Versus now, or even knowing the people who were, because we know it was some people who said and meant it. Yeah. But we also know of saying it. So I remember saying that from routine. I remember growing when I got baptized as an adult. But now even saying that and getting baptized, I just look at everything just so differently. Like I told my sister and her, and I talked about it. I was just like, I don't know when or how it's going to happen, but I want to go to Jerusalem. But I want to go in luxury because I'm scared of going out the country. Yeah. So I need to go where what they say, what they doing, what we eating. Yes. But I told her that I wanted that.
Yeah.
Because it's just so many life experiences that I want from travel that would hit me spiritually versus I'm going to turn up to have a good time.
Yeah.
So I want to turn up good time. Let's be clear.
Our turn up is different though.
Yes. But I still want that because our turn up was like Chicago.
Yeah.
But a place like Jerusalem will hit me on the spiritual.
Yeah, it will be different. It will be different.
And in Chicago, we ain't go out. We ain't get dressed up. We went out during the day. We had some good food. What was that place called? Kitchen and Cocktails.
It was so good.
I want to go back to Chicago just to eat there.
It was so good.
I should do that for my mama's birthday tomorrow.
See, you're gonna just jet set out. See, that's the life I believe that he wants for me.
Yes,
I believe that I should just be I'm a creative. You are too, and it's difficult to be held down in job situations and things like that where you don't have the freedom to do the things that you want to do. That's of God.
Yes,
He wants us to be free. To, you know what I'm saying, be a good steward over your finances and live your life and enjoy your life. I said this simple abundance path that we own has really taught me something when I think about that, though, about how we should be free and free to do the things. Like if you want to go jump on the train tomorrow just to go eat a kitchen and cocktails, you should be able to do that and come back home if you want to, or stay, whatever, But we get so tied down. Our life was not meant to be where we were so worried about the day-to-day bills and this, and I gotta do this, and I gotta take care of my kids, and I gotta do. You should have the freedom. And when you read today, you're gonna see.
I can't wait to read it.
When you read it today, you're gonna see. You should have the freedom. And she talked about that, where her daughter was. We reading this book, y'all. I just jumped subject. You in our girl chat, so she know what I'm talking about.
Yes. The book is called Simple Abundance.
Yeah.
And she said we're on this simple abundance journey.
Yeah.
That is the name of the book. It's by Sarah. That ain't her that we help me, Keisha. I'm struggling. I can't think of her last name, but I will link it in the comments or description. I mean,
the book was written probably in the 1980s. When we were kids, for sure. She was talking about mail order stuff.
Yeah, when she said catalog, I was like, they don't know what a catalog is.
She said catalog, and I was like, this book was written a long time ago. So think about that. Think about that book was written all those years ago. And I had the book it was given to me in I don't know what year. And I had it and never read it. And now I probably had the book, let's say at least 15 years.
And let's add back in how not only did she have one copy, she had two. So it ain't like I had to go and buy the book. So this is the things where we talk about being in alignment.
Yeah, yeah. And the things that we read daily in the book, I'm like, oh my God. So that book was written in, let's say 1975, when I was born. God knew that I was going to read that book and it was going to align with what I'm dealing with in my life right now. And even though she's talking about things of the year that it was written, I still can relate to what she's saying. And she said that when her daughter was 4, she told or asked, I don't know, I can't remember, her husband, she wanted to just go get a hotel room for the night. She just needed some isolation, something for herself. And he was okay with that. He was like, you go ahead. And you don't find that, people do it now, but I still think a lot of people do it now for the aesthetic of it.
I think so too.
You know what I'm saying?
I think so too. And I thought about that when I talked about traveling, because some things are for the aesthetic.
Yeah. I do a lot of things now, and I don't take pictures or videos or anything. I just kind of be getting away from that because it's not about the aesthetic of it to me. And I
think it's cool to capture the moment and have it, but when your intentions, when it's like, I just want to prove, like,
I'm not I'm trying to prove I'm having a good time, I'm enjoying my life, and I'm happy now, or whatever. I'm not in that era, and I enjoy my life all the time and don't document it. Even if I take pictures, I don't even post them. I may have the pictures for my memory.
And I think about like the photo albums growing up.
My sister I'm doing that because I know she watching.
She listening. Because she got 80 jobs.
Listen, she gave me a photo album. It was empty, but she was just like, remember, I think she said something like, remember people used to have photo albums? We have my mother's old photo albums. And I went through there. Jordan is in there.
My baby.
Yeah, Jordan is in there, and we got her own photo albums, and we don't even think about printing pictures anymore for the memories to actually look at. I want to get back to that.
Yeah, I want to get back to that too. I miss the old school photo albums and flipping up and just having pictures of your family members and stuff around the house versus you were here. Like, versus that. And again, like I said, I don't think it's anything wrong with posting.
It's not.
Because sometimes, you do want to share, and we have relatives long distance, and depending on generation, because like my mother's generation is heavy on Facebook. Mind y'all, she would be 69, so she ain't. But so I think about it from that. But when you doing it, back to the intentions, just to be let me show y'all that I did, went here. And the captions matter.
Yeah, my mother's family and my dad's family. My dad's sister is on Facebook. She loves Facebook. And I do post things like about my kids and stuff because my family likes to.
Because they like to see that and belong. And I like to see their kids too. I think it's a good thing. But I also feel like we need to go back to printing those things.
And we need to live in the moment.
Yeah.
Live in the present.
As in live in the present, take the photo, move on, not sit where we on our phone trying to edit it. To filter it. Girl, what should I say about this?
What should my caption be? Oh God,
I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't.
Now, I do put time and effort in my captions.
You do.
I'm not doing that in the moment when I'm out and about with you.
Yeah. I mean, when you at home and you're doing something for your business, you put time and effort into the caption.
Yes.
But your selfie or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. And then if I do want it from that angle, not in like we know I'm bougie, but not in the I'm bougie, trying to be bougie and show you I'm bougie way.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do it then because that's what we used to do. Like taking a picture of the food, going right in and doing all that. I haven't had a food photo in a long time. Mm-hmm. And the other day I was mad that I didn't have a food photo because I wanted to tell y'all that my food was so good.
You wanted me to post a picture of my food that I cooked a couple weeks ago.
Listen. Did I ever tell you that the food was good? Because people be feeding me and I don't even be telling them that they food good.
I don't be worried about it.
Thank you for not being mad. Because I sure don't. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I ain't tell you.
No, I took a picture of the food and the prep and everything.
It looked like, it was like chef's kiss, okay? I was like, what kind of knife you use? I would have been to slice my finger off all that stuff that you cut.
Let me tell you something.
Shout out to Factor for sending me meals.
Listen. Cooking has become a part of my ministry. Cooking for my family and my friend.
And your friend or whoever, be so happy.
And whoever come around, or I freeze it because I realize now that everything I do is worship and praise to God.
Yes. So when you put music on, like put me in the zone as if you were cooking, because I knew my food was made with love, because I think I told you, like, I literally get sick sometimes when I eat certain things. And I pay attention to it where I'd be like, oh, I can't eat that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. My stomach is really sensitive now.
Okay.
So when I didn't get sick, I was like, oh, she my friend for real. Thank you, God, for the sign. It's like, no, I'm just playing.
No, sometimes I put on music, and sometimes most time though, I'm in silence because I just
it's kind of like your form of meditation.
It is.
Because I posted about that, because some people think that you need to sit like cross and with your fingers, or even just sitting there closed eyes. But I talked about my meditation is when I watch Disney movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though my mind is literally silent.
Yeah, it's silent. But let me tell you this, because I have never really enjoyed cooking or everything felt like a chore.
Sure.
Even in marriage, everything felt like a chore. I never enjoyed, but when you're not happy on the inside with yourself, even though you're trying to portray that you're happy, that's how it's going to feel. So everything around me, even dropping my kids off and taking from here to there, everything felt like a chore. I was always tired. So when I fully surrendered to God, He showed me that everything that I do, I can do in worship to Him. And when I changed my mindset and started doing it that way, I don't even be tired when I cook. I cook a full course, whatever, stuff that I never made ever. And then I get up and go to work.
Yes, because I'm like, you going to work? I do one task per day. Okay?
But He had to show me that taking care of my home is not a chore.
Yes.
He blessed me with it, and I take care of what He allowed me to have.
So now that my home has went through rehabilitation, the other day, and I had to clean up. Well, I will say had to. I had to clean up myself. But the other day, when I stepped back and looked, I thought about my mom, because my mom would come over and she would always take pictures. She would always take pictures, and they would be in her phone. I wish I could remember her password, but they would be in her phone, girl, from her cleaning and wiping down the stove. And I was just stood there. I was like, I kind of want to take a picture. And I text Tiffany, like, remember when Mama used to clean up over here and then take pictures? I was like, I kind of want to take a picture now. Because that's how I felt standing back looking at my kitchen.
You was proud, wasn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I did my room,
yeah. Proud.
You can't tell me nothing is so cute in there.
Yeah. Proud. But we have to take, not have to, I'm not going to say have to. It is our stewardship over what He has blessed us with. So our bedrooms, our clothes, our cars, whatever, small things that we, have or do.
It's funny that you was just like our clothes or whatever, because while I've been going through this on my journey, and I'm thanking God for the housekeeper and somebody to always bring me a meal, because I still don't want to do that. But I'm like, I done went through, the rehabilitation. I'm all set. It's all cleaned out. And with my clothes, I said, I'm gonna tell you, I had, and this don't be no exaggeration, I still haven't unpacked from when we went to Chicago. I have a lot of clothes. So I haven't unpacked.
That was September.
So I still have not. It's still in the suitcase. But over the time, I was in a sunken place for a long time. Mm-hmm. So all of my clothes was in my room and just piled. So when I first was, digging my way out, I took the clothes in the basement. So at least they would be out of my room.
Yeah.
The whole couch was full of clothes. So I finally sorted through the clothes. Like, I forgot I had this. But my whole point in saying that was, I was like, God, I done did everything. Please give me some grace, because it gotta be about 42 loads of laundry. And I'ma just wash a little bit. So today and tomorrow, I got something to put on, because I was wearing sweats.
If you look at them last episodes,
them gray sweats that I was wearing, don't think I was washing them. I just was picking them up, putting them back on. That's my sunken place.
Yeah,
my butt was washed, but them gray pants wasn't.
We are to take care of what He has blessed us with. So when I cook now, whatever I do, I look at it like ministry. It's blessed me. I am giving nourishment to my children, because I take my son, when I see him, I'll give him some of the food. I give you some. My daughter eat.
And let me tell you, them black-eyed peas.
And I had not made black-eyed peas in probably 25 years.
And then it was the rice. I told you, I love beans. Give me beans.
And I don't.
I love them.
I do not know what made me be like, you know what, I'm going to make some black-eyed peas.
And so I'm going to just tell you my truth. You know how you had made the cornbread? The last time you had made the cornbread, Jordan ate all the cornbread. So this time I was like, Lord, forgive me. But I kept the cornbread in my room.
So he wouldn't eat it.
So when I got my black-eyed peas and my rice, and I could put my little cornbread and mix all the 3 ingredients together and sit there and thank God for my friend.
Listen.
Everything. I ate that good meal. When you cooking that again?
Listen. we gotta stop looking at everything like a chore. Like if you don't like cleaning your house, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I I feel like I was looking at like my house like, you know, it was like a weight on me.
But what I realized, and I know this about me, you know, when I'm above the ground and I'm blooming, it's easier for me to do it on a consistent basis.
Gotcha.
But when it gets so bad, it needs that thorough deep cleaning and it's too much. Like now I can maintain it, you know, every week. But I'm just waiting on them financial blessings so I can go back to can you come do this?
Yeah, because that's what
I don't want to mop.
I plan to do that. But I had to get
but
in the mode
of like you saying, it's getting out of a chore in that mind frame. That's the lesson that you're telling me.
Yeah, I had to stop feeling like, oh, I don't want to do this. This is a weight on me. I got all this other stuff to do. It's just so much, you know. Everything can become discombobulated in your mind about your things you have to take care of, your house, your car, your bills, your kids, your job, and your family, your friends. It can become a weight. So I had to change.
And let me say this, and think about that list that you said, not even naming yourself.
Because I always put myself last. I told my son, we were talking on the phone, girl. He FaceTimed me, I think this morning. We was on the phone.
FaceTime her all the time. So she really needs to think back to what moment. Like he FaceTime 24/7.
It was like this morning.
I love that.
We was on the phone for like 2 hours. And
for real?
Yeah. We were just talking, yapping. And I said something to him.
I love you so much.
I said something to him about, and I hate to say that when people don't have that relationship with their kids. I don't say that for any, you know, I don't want anybody to think.
First of all, let's be clear and take this lesson with you right now, because me and my son used to have that, but we don't have that now. We could go days in the same house under the same roof and not even be to have a conversation. I had told one of my friends the other day, sometimes I'll be like, do I have a voice? Let me say something out loud to make sure God still gave me my voice. Because I'm not talking. Or if I'm home by myself, you know what I'm saying? Days in a row, like you just got literally talking. I mean, I start now, so I ain't gonna say that, but you know, you just don't be talking out loud. So I'm one of them people, but I love that, and I look at it from the end like, if you got it, I can have it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to have it. I was about to tell him. What I was about to say was, I told him that I was like, I don't really do a lot for myself still. I still don't do a lot for myself. And the other day I went to return something I ordered from Amazon, and I went to Kohl's to return, and you know, the Sephora's in there. I love makeup and fragrance now. I mean, I always have, but I rarely buy. So I walked around in there and I was like, I got so much stuff. I started getting that feeling like I got things to do, or my daughter was getting ready to leave for her trip and I need to take care of this. And I was like, I need to get out of here because I don't. But I stopped and was like, you know what? Because I always in my mind think if I buy myself something that I'm being irresponsible. And so, so a lot of people may not feel that way. So I
know someone in my life who has that. So now I'm wondering if you're saying that, if that might be deep rooted, where it makes her feel like she's being irresponsible, knowing that she has other responsibilities and children.
And if you're doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're doing it by yourself and you have all these responsibilities, and I was on the phone with my son, and I was joking because he paid 2 things of his that ain't nothing. So he was like, I said, you want to switch?
And I'm pretty sure one, the phone bill.
That's it, phone bill. You know, that ain't jack. Oh my God. And so I was like, you want to switch? So I ran down to him everything I paid, how much it was. And even as I was saying that, I was like, God, I thank you, because how? It ain't nobody but you. And I don't work a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't, but I'm like, but even still when I get ready to, but I take care of the things I need to take care of, and then I have to think about my prayers when I pray and ask God for stuff. I say, just allow me to be able to take care of my family. I never ask for stuff for myself. So when I get ready to do for myself, I feel irresponsible. But I went ahead and I was looking at the perfumes, girl, and I was like, I immediately started looking at the prices. Like, I'm not about to spend $100 on a bottle of perfume today. I'm not. So I went to a little sampler thing and was like, oh, I can get one of these. And the lady came over and started talking to me. And as she's talking and she's explaining what I'm thinking, like, girl, I know how all this smells. And then I was like, you know what, Keisha, you ain't bought yourself something in months. Go ahead and buy it. I bought it. Do you know I still haven't used it? Because I'm like, should I take it back? Because
girl, if you don't use that.
But, you know, that's another area of healing, though. Like we talk about the healing journey. I've learned how to praise God through cooking and making sure everything not a chore, but doing for myself. Now, it appears to people that I probably do a lot for myself on the outside. Somebody looking on the outside, and they'll probably think, well, she, you know, take care of herself, or she always look decent or whatever. But nah, boo. You know I don't shop.
So I think about me on the opposite, where I
know
you want it, you see it,
you get it.
But I don't know if you probably know, I think I done shared it and we done talked, but I won't use it.
Yeah, you'll have tags on something for a year or two.
3. This was from September.
I know.
Just popped the tag off today.
I was wondering, I said, is this the blazer you got when we were all together?
I said, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on to wear it? Like, what if today is your last occasion? So start stepping into it. And then I started thinking about how we had that episode and we talk about the not looking like what you go through. And I said, this is why. This is the Jesus sleeping through the storm. Mm-hmm. Because why do I need to look any different? Let me just get up and look like myself no matter what's going on, because at the end of the day, I know one thing: God got me.
All the time.
Things may not look like how I want them to look, but I know that He has me, and I am going to walk into that new opportunity. Just like I think back how when you sent me that verse where I know it from Matthew and you sent it from Luke. Lord, I'm asking. I'm asking for a renewed mind every day. I'm asking for a renewed spirit. I'm asking for the abundance and prosperity that is all throughout the Bible. I'm asking for that. I'm asking for wisdom, for knowledge, for understanding.
It's a lady that I've seen on TikTok. She just happened to come across my page 2 days ago. I think she lived in Africa, and she opened her video by saying, praise the Lord, I'm going to vlog and show you my life as I talk about how we're going to worship God. And as she's walking through her mansion and her spa in her house and everything, she's talking about how we are to worship and praise God and how He's blessed her, and she's not doing this for show. She's showing you that this is how He wants you to live. And if you live for Him, He gonna, you know. And then she talked, her next video, because I went and looked at another one, was talking about how people bullied her because they said, how do you have this, and who married you because you're not attractive? And she has 4 children, and she showed a video of them coming home from school, and they go and hug their mother, and then she served her family their meal, and her husband, you know, one morning he got up to go to work, and when she got up, she said, he left for work and he didn't wake me because he likes for me to get my rest. And she basically give a sermon. I'm going to send it to you when it come back across. She basically gives a sermon as she's walking through her home. And I was like, she probably took care of her little that she had. And now, you know, and she was like, I'm attractive to God. God showed me that I was beautiful. And he blessed me with somebody who sees the beauty in me, whether you all see it or not. I was just like, girl. And when she opened, when you turn on the video, she like, praise the Lord, everyone. I just want to share with you as I'm walking to my salon to get my hair done. Her salon is on probably the fourth floor of her house. She get in the elevator and she go up to the salon and somebody come in there and they braid her hair.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Sounds so much like how I see my life.
Yeah. And people were like, oh my God, like we've never seen anybody like basically people go on and quote scripture and stuff, but she literally be pouring into people spiritually as she's showing how God has blessed her. And it's not in a braggadocious way at all. It's like, girl.
I told you how I've been listening to She Was Seven, a Sprinkle Lady. Mm-hmm. Oh, she just be pouring so, and I'd be like, we ain't nothing but I think maybe 5 years apart. If I don't even know if it's that many. I never
watched her,
but I'm like, I wish that. She was just like in my spirit. You know what I'm saying? A lot at a younger age. And for me, it's not even about the things that she say with regards to being a man. I never look at it like that. I just look at it on a level of feeling more confident and about myself, because today it was two things that she said. I hope I don't forget the second one. But the first one that she said that made me think about what she was talking about was she was just like, it's supermodels and everything out there. It's always somebody more beautiful than you. So you have to love yourself to make yourself the main character of your life.
And even though I don't buy myself a lot, trust me, every day I wake up and make myself the main character of my life.
And that was something else, because somebody asked her, well, are you rich? And she said, it depends on how you define rich. What does rich look like for you? Because I will say this, last year when I wasn't working and my finances were going to hell to shit, and I'm still, I talked about last week how I was transparent, like my account hit the negative. I'm still trying to get back into a comfortable place, but that was one of the richest times of my life. Everything I needed,
you had it.
I had. My finances are jacked up because I'm trying to recover from when I wasn't being a good steward over them.
Because you never was trying to impress. Yours was a addiction.
Mine was an addiction. And because I'm so caring and compassionate and I feel good when you feel good, I was pouring and doing stuff from that place as well. So, and then I always, quote unquote, made good money. So even if I was swiping a credit card, I'm like, you make good money, you'll be all right. But it got to the point to whereas my addiction really had me in a dark hole. While I was out and about looking like love and light, I was in a dark hole, and the devil had control of my soul and was bringing me in more and more.
And the thing is, it's okay to have that wealth and things, but it's okay. But if you don't use it in a good stewarding way,
you're not putting God first. God was nowhere in it. Like, I thank you for my job. Oh, I'm blessed I got this job, but he wasn't in it like he in it now.
He's literally my business. Like he's like I had a client last week. She's a pastor. And I'm so thankful that the ladies who come to me that go to church and everything don't judge me, you know, because me and her was just having a real conversation. And she looked at me and said, this is your church. This is your ministry. And when she said, I knew it was my ministry, but when she said, this is your church, I was like, she was like, this studio.
Me being the visual girl, we're coming on a close, but me being the visual girl, that makes so much sense.
Because I would say 95% of the conversations that go on in there is ministry. Now, don't get me wrong. I do laugh and joke and we have fun, but even in that, it's still different. And she looked at me, she said, this is your church. She didn't try to get me to come to her church and say, come visit me, come do it. We having this, we doing that. She didn't do that. We just sat there and talked. We shared about abstinence journeys, and she desired to be a wife. she gave up, so much years ago when she felt like the path she took, she could have been married. But it was just such a good, conversation, and I shared some things with her that I've been reading my Bible, and she shared things with me, and then towards the end, she was just like, "This is your church," and I was like, "You know what? You're right."
It makes me think of the sister circle gathering, because even though I don't do a formal prayer, you know what I'm saying, in the beginning or the end, I'm praying over everything.
Yeah.
And those are the healing conversations that we have during the sister circle. I had a girl, because I scheduled the one coming up. So I had sent out, an announcement about it. And I was telling her, I said, yeah, I have been going back and forth, like if I had even wanted to do it, because even though the last one, I had set that one up virtually too, and it was the snowstorm and just everything. But I was just like, I don't even really know if I want to do this. Like, I done got this space and I'm just wasting my money. But I was just, as I was going through rehabilitation in my home, I was healing my spirit too. And it's just like, no, you were called to do this for a reason. When I sent her that thing, she sent me back and was just like, I am so excited that you are doing this and you're doing it on that particular day. Because at first I was saying I was going to do it the 16th, but I was like, are you really going to want to do that before your birthday? Wait till your birthday over, and then you can pour into some people.
Yeah.
But when that happened, it was just like, she was just like, I'm so happy, and I'm so happy that that day, because I'm looking forward to it. Like, you really don't know, and we really don't be knowing how much we really be pouring into people. Because sometimes when you don't get the feedback, but when your soul feels better, you didn't pour from that cup, that balance. The waterfall, the overflow. The movie, baby. The Forge. Watch The Forge if y'all ain't watched it.
You know, my son, this is the last thing I'm going to say about him. I'll randomly text him, like, what you doing watching The Forge? He probably watches it once a week.
I was going to say I'm going to watch when I go home, but I don't have Netflix. Netflix costs too much. I was just like, I'm paying for two things, Hulu and Disney Plus. That's it.
You should have Netflix, though.
Listen, if it's
they keep increasing that price though, and that's stupid.
Yes, but I'm just saying, I got some good friends. So if somebody want to watch a movie, I think I have.
You can share mine, but I don't know if they'll let you share.
They don't let you share it.
Well, he share his at school. That's why I don't think they'll let
but
you
if share. So if you go, because do you know my sister and my dad lives very close in proximity. So I was just like, I bet the Netflix worked for y'all.
Does it?
It didn't.
It didn't.
It did for a minute, and my dad said, "Well, they caught on.
They took it from him.
They took it.
Oh my God! So you just going to get the. Well, I don't watch a whole lot of other streamings though. I don't have.
And I watch cartoons all day, so I feel like, and I know we on the close and we just talking about Netflix, but I'm gonna finish our girl talk before we check out, because this is my example of being a good steward over my finances. Netflix maybe have 1 to 2 movies per month that I need to see or would like to see. I don't know if it's worth me sending them that money.
Yeah, you're right.
When I can sit and literally watch Disney Plus sun up to sundown.
Yeah.
And sprinkle in some.
And if it's something you want to watch with Netflix, and you come to my house or Tiffany's house and
I'll just sit and watch it. Boom.
Yeah, because I don't have I got Disney Plus and Netflix, I think. That's it. Because that's all we watch.
Because I'm like,
I don't watch nothing.
I like Hulu, so I need that because I need some more variety. But
I have not had the TV on since Christmas Day.
What? And you know what else I love? Y'all need to watch some anime. If y'all don't watch anime,
listen, we done got all off the subject. we done. Because we done went from talking serious to talking about anime. We want y'all to like, listen, subscribe, share. I enjoyed our conversation.
I really enjoyed today. Happy birthday to my mama.
Happy birthday, Mama Dorothy. I mean, man.
I don't know what you send some purple. Send some purple.
Put some purple hearts in the comments for Mama Dorothy, because this is it's her day, man. This is her day. This is the day we celebrating her. And I'm so glad we had such a joyful conversation on her day, because I think she would enjoy this conversation. Mm-hmm. She would have. So
she probably somewhere like, girl, you know I ain't mad at you. What is you talking about?
You know what?
I know it ain't cigarettes in heaven. I'm just saying.
Like, listen, subscribe, share. Purple hearts. We'll see y'all next week. You a fool.